Hey everyone! Today I'll be diving into the Hoenn region, known for its memorable story, peak pokedex, and totally normal amount of water. In this video, I'll reveal the best Pokemon of each individual type for a playthrough of the game. I'll assume no trait evolutions are used. Without further ado, let's go! Sharpedo is quite the great Pokemon. You can access it as soon as you unlock the Good Rod right after beating the normal gym. Most Dark types in this gen are either underwhelming in general, or are hurt by the lack of physical special split. Sharpedo has neither of these problems as it's a Pokemon with decent overall stats and a serviceable special attack stats to use its stab moves. Moreover, it has access to Ice Beam, which is very good on Winona and Drake of the Elite Four, and it's of course a great Tayden, Lisa, and Phoebe pick. Swellow is pretty notorious for one trick in particular, the Guts pre-poison boost. You can simply poison it before a fight and unleash hell on everything with Guts boosted physical moves. This strategy gets even better when unlocking the move Facade by TM after beating your dad up. This will allow you to one-shot several things on most gym leaders without even thinking about it, giving you a massive head start to clean up with the rest of your team once they finally manage to deal with the poison bird. I would have liked to put Pelipper in this spot instead, but unfortunately I couldn't conjure up an argument for this guy to make the list. Wait, what? This is not even April 1st. Well, Linoone is a pretty meh Pokemon. It has good stats in early game, but then falls off relative to the competition. It also, as a normal type, does not really have notable type matchups. What it does do, however, is that it can solo the Elite Four by itself with Belly Drum. I'll not go into the details of how it does that, as it has been wonderfully explained step by step in this Flygon HD video. Just noting that this is a 100% guaranteed sweep if you do the steps correctly while only using Linoone. That definitely warrants a spot here. Shedinja is one of those really funny Pokemon to use. Thanks to its ability Wonder Guard, it becomes immune to most typings in the game, and can only be touched by types that hit it super effectively or by chip damage. This makes it so that a lot of Pokemon can literally do nothing against Shedinja. Those Pokemon including all of Juan's team except Luvdisc, all of Watson's except for Voltorb, and a few Mons on Tayden, Lisa. The good thing is that if you get TM Toxic Rugged Path, you don't really need to level up Shedinja to make it work. It just switches into something that can't hit it, clicks Toxic, and stalls it to death. Shedinja's placement is further cemented by the lack of massive competition in either of its typings. Ghost types in Gen 3 are pretty dubious, and the best non-Shedinja bug types are either Heracross, which is very hard to get, or Dustox, which is extremely good early game, gets Protect for Norman slacking, but then falls off. Okay, I get it. Y'all wanted to see Blaziken here, and I agree. Blaziken is a better Pokemon than Hariyama, but I displaced it due to the opportunity cost of picking Blazy over another starter. Hariyama has got to be one of the easiest Pokemon to use in the whole Milky Way galaxy. It evolves extremely early, has great bulk, decent attack, fake out, strong moves, and potentially thick fat, which renders it a beat against Flandering Glacia. Hariyama is that guy you can reliably expect to 1v1 most things with a neutral type matchup. Also, look at him. Is that the face of a guy that will ever betray you in a time of need? I don't think so. Here is a really hot take that will definitely farm engagement and hate viewing. Electric Steel is a pretty good type combination. Magneton is just a very good reliable Pokemon. It has the pre-Gen 6 Steel type perk which resists both Dark and Ghost, as well as a usable offense type in Electric and access to Thunderbolt. It has a non-zero utility on every notable fight from the moment you get it onwards. In the Electric side of this, one could argue that Lantern is better because it does more late game. And honestly, I would not hold that argument against you in the slightest. However, Lantern is hurt by the fact that you don't get it until you have access to Dive upon defeating Tayden, Lisa, whilst Magneton is available much earlier. A mid-game available Chinchou would definitely make the list. Ice types in Hoenn are relegated to the late game for the most part, and in a world where my choices are Glalie and Walrein, the Walrus is by far the better option. Walrein is a very bulky Pokemon with rest for longevity and just overall really good stats. There's really nothing complicated about it other than the Hail and Blizzard technology against Juan's Kingdra. However, Glalie has one notable perk over Walrein. This.
Don't say Volt Absorb Lantern.
One of the nice things about figuring out which dragon type is the best is that there's not as many of them. Altaria is the only dragon type you get access to that evolves somewhat early. However, it is quite underwhelming stat-wise for a dragon type. Also, it lacks good moves to use with Dragon Dance apart from Earthquake, making it not the scariest thing ever. This leaves us with Mint and Flygon. The two Pokemon evolve late into their final forms, but Mint makes the chase much more worth it, with access to Intimidate, massive pseudo-legendary stats, and a very solid move pool of things like Fly, Dragon Claw, Crunch, and Flamethrower. It does a lot of work of the Elite Four. Well, one of the Elite Four except for Glacia. I wonder if we can thus argue that Emerald Salamence is a worse line. I'll leave that for you guys in the comments to debate. The Pokemon that everyone was waiting for, it's a him, Mudkip. Swampert has the phenomenal ground-water typing, which only has one weakness in grass, and apart from your rival, no trainer worth caring about will ever throw a grass type at you. Moreover, Marshtomp also conveniently happens to help a lot with Watson, a gym leader that can prove tough. Moreover, the Mudkip line has merit against Flannery, Winona, thanks to TM Ice Beam, Tate and Lisa's rock types, and it's usable in the Elite Four with late games moves like Stab, Surf, and Earthquake, and its stats are good even by Gen 3 competitive standards. Mudkip has got to be the singular easiest Pokemon to use in the entire video game. It's absolutely ridiculous. Now, the rock types in the game are pretty depressing overall, except if you're a Soul Rock enjoyer, which I guess you guys exist and have rights and stuff. But more seriously, Aggron is the rock type which at least does some stuff, albeit it's not good at all early game. But then it's a thing on Winona, Tate and Lisa, and the Elite Four thanks for its good attack and defense, which is something. Up to this point in the series, poison types tend to be very underwhelming. Crobat from Johto helps their case a bit, but the more notable exception is the OG, the GOAT, the tentacled man himself, Tentacruel. Tentacruel is a very easy to find Pokemon. In fact, it's so easy to find that you'll probably find it even if you're actively trying not to in the totally normal volumes of water in the Hoenn region. From there, it's just great special bulk, good speed, water and ice moves, and the poison water types which happens to be very goated. Tentacruel is obviously no Mudkip or Sharpedo, but it's just good. And being good as a poison type makes you a superstar, apparently. Starmie is one of our homie Pokemon. This guy has all that it needs if you're willing to give it TMs. Surf, Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, Psychic, and Recover. Every fight from the point you get it onward is threatened by it, outside of City and Phoebe. But then again, all Psychic types would have problems against these two. Torkoal has 4 things going for it. 1. It's available very early in Rugged Path. 2. Its stats are massive for that point in the game, especially its defense. 3. It gets Flamethrower at 30, which is crazy early all things considered. And 4. It gets Protect for Norman Slacking, making it one of the better Norman Mons you can get up at that point. By the late game, Torkoal starts to fall off a bit, but you can still make these stats work. We thought about putting Breloom here instead, but Ludicolo seems to do a bit more than Breloom overall, albeit Breloom's Watson's utility offers it a sizable niche for the grass-water type. Lotad is a good Pokemon against Gen 1, but then only becomes decent after access to Waterstone, which happens after Norman. From there, good special attack, Fake Out, and a good type combination make it a great Pokemon, especially in a region where the last gym and the champion are water experts, a type that Ludicolo is primed for. Ludicolo also boasts the perk of not being weak to water Pokemon's ice coverage. And that's it, the best Pokemon of every individual typing for your Emerald run. If you have different opinions or honorable mentions, feel free to tell us about them in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Have a great one.